Have your students ever struggled to apply explicitly taught strategies to reading chapter books? Have you ever struggled to keep your students motivated and engaged in your literacy instruction? In this video, we're going to be talking about how we use book club units to help our students to stay motivated and engaged, as well as to help them generalize their skills to reading at the chapter level. Hi, I'm Laura from Ascend Smarter Intervention, where we make research-based instruction easy and accessible. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you an example of a book club unit lesson that will help your students to generalize their skills in phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension, and writing to reading chapter books and answering comprehension questions. In each of our book club units, we provide explicit instruction or extra practice in each of the 5 core components of literacy and in writing. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what that looks like. So first, we're going to take a look at our 10-part phonological awareness drill. Now, we make sure we include a 10-part phonological awareness drill, and every single lesson, we pull words from the text that the students will be reading and have them practice blending and segmenting sentences and words from the text. After phonological awareness, we move into fluency. And so we have students practice fluency at both the word and the sentence level. We begin with word fluency by setting a 60-second timer, and we have students look at some words that we've pulled from the text and have them read as many as they can in 60 seconds. We like to track how many they're getting incorrect and correct, and provide error correction as needed. And then from there, we have students move into sentence phrasing. So we take a couple of sentences from the text and we have them practice finding the subject, predicate, and adverbial phrase. And once they do that, they can practice reading that sentence with proper phrasing and expression. Next, we're going to jump into our explicit instruction in phonics. And so in this particular lesson, you'll see we're looking at blends and digraphs. And so we're going to briefly review or introduce to our students each of these patterns. And then we're going to have them practice reading words with these patterns as well. And then as they're reading the text, we oftentimes like to have our students look for those words in the text as well, so that they're able to generalize that phonics skill to reading at the chapter level. Each lesson in our book club units also provides students with practice with spelling. And so we pick a few words, usually from the text, to have students practice spelling. We have them mark how many sounds they hear in the word and then practice spelling the word. From there, we have them practice writing sentences by identifying a who or a what, that subject, a did what, the predicate, and then a when, where, why, or how. Next, we're going to move into our vocabulary instruction. And in each lesson, students are going to practice defining one of the words from the chapter. So in this lesson, they're going to define the word droopy, and they're going to read the sentence or quote from the text that contains that word. And then they're going to look for any hints or clues to help them define it using that vocabulary framework. And so again, they're looking for a category, a function or purpose, a synonym, and an antonym. And that's going to help them to give a full definition of that word from the text. After that, students are going to have some explicit instruction in vocabulary as well. So in this lesson, you'll see students are learning more about categories. There's always going to be an activity for them to practice with as well, usually tied to the book as much as possible to help them to generalize those vocabulary skills. Lastly, each chapter contains some explicit instruction and comprehension as well. So you can see in this lesson, we're focused mostly on direct recall questions, particularly those 5 Ws. So students are going to fill in information about those 5 Ws. They also have a nice quick write activity where they get a little bit more practice writing sentences when they're answering 5 Ws questions as well. And then we always wrap up each lesson with some comprehension questions. While they were focused mostly on direct recall in this particular lesson, we still want them to be practicing with all of those comprehension skills. So we asked them all sorts of different questions, ranging from direct recall questions all the way up to some analytical and author's purpose questions as well. So that's just a quick look at one lesson from our book club unit. Every lesson is going to look a little bit different because the explicit instruction is a little bit different for vocabulary and comprehension. But in general, students are practicing applying skills and strategies to real reading with those chapter books. This is a great activity for students to keep them motivated and engaged. Plus, it's such a sense of accomplishment for students when they read those first chapter books. I'll link to a blog with more information on our book club units and how we use these with our students. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to be the first to know when we post new videos with tips, tricks, and resources we use with our students.